Back to Wales now, and Simon Slade's company Monster Movers, not to be confused with monsters of a similar or the same name. Yes. We've paid him to take away a load of household furniture, and he's promised either to sell it all on or take it to a licensed tip. Except we know he hasn't, because we've tracked his van. Who needs Tonto when you got one of these?
Yes, the trackers hidden inside the sofa and fridge have led us to this spooky country road less than a mile away from our stooge house. They were driven straight here and haven't budged for over 35 minutes, so what has Simon Slade been up to? As we move around the corner, we get our answer.
Stop. Does that look familiar? Yeah.
I'll say it's our sofa dumped by the side of the road. After a bit of investigation, we find our fridge thrown in the bushes too. A UV torch reveals the smart water we poured over them, so there's no doubt this is our stuff. Simon Slade clearly didn't even attempt to sell them on. He came straight here from our house and dumped them shortly after picking them up. But let's take a look at the bigger picture. Because fly tipping is a real problem in this part of Wales. Take a look at this place. These fly tips aren't Simon Slade's handiwork, but they're typical of quite a few sites in the area. They should be areas of outstanding natural beauty, not full of things people don't want anymore. This is Gary Evans. He runs a council action group tasked with putting a stop to it. I mean, the thing that a lot of people end up saying when we do stories about fly tipping is that councils seem to be making it more and more difficult and more expensive to get rid of things.
There are over 80 civic amenity sites in Wales, and the majority of those are free of charge, and they'll accept the kind of waste that you would create on a day-to-day basis.
However, unlike members of the public, traders like Simon Slade, who have a commercial vehicle, have to pay to dump other people's waste at the tip.
If you are employing somebody to get rid of a large amount of waste, it is going to cost you money. Householders should know that if somebody comes to take their waste away for them, they should be a registered waste carrier. They should be taking it to a licensed facility.
If you don't ask the trader whether or not they have a licence and your fly-tipped rubbish is traced back to you, you could be held liable.
So if somebody comes to your home and says, I can get rid of that waste for you for 20 quid, you should be suspicious.
And suspicious we are, but we need to put Simon Slade to the test a second time.
So that's one fridge and one sofa dumped in the middle of nowhere and going rusty and soggy. Until, of course, we come and clear it up. Although usually it would be the council doing the same with your money, but we're nice like that. It's only one example. That one was a little bit country. The next one will be rock and roll.
Yeah, we're heading to the big city, Cardiff Central, homeboys and homegirls. The diff is stiff, with alleys and side passages, which make it a fly tipper's Shangri-La. We've got new stooges, Phil and Elaine. Oh, they're like a TV couple, aren't they? They're really funny. They invite Monster Movers to carry out another house clearance. This time, though, we up the ante and give him loads more stuff, some of which we know he's unlikely to be able to sell on, including an old mattress, a smelly old sofa bed, and a broken fridge. If he plans to dispose of all this stuff legally, he's going to have to take it to a tip. And if he's going to do that, he should charge us a realistic sum of money. Once again, we cover our stuff with smart water. Let's do that thing with the UV light again. Go on. Yeah, that's cool. And once again, we place 2 trackers amongst the items so we can monitor their journey. The whole team is ready to roll. All we need now is Simon Slade. There he is.
Hello, are you Simon?
Yeah.
Hi Elaine, nice to meet you. Come in.
Fantastic. What have you got?
Yeah.
Is that going as well? Or?
Yeah, the sofa. It's got room and mattress as well.
Yeah.
And then you've probably seen there's a few bits and pieces here as well.
Second-hand shop, like so I'll take you through them if I can use it. Now you go from a tip, like, innit? Whatever I can.
Ah, that's a clear statement of intent from Simon Slade. He'll either sell it or dispose of it properly.
Great.
Obviously, the more I get rid of, the less it costs me. Because in the tip, see what you've got to pay for the van to go in there, haven't you?
With that in mind, he should charge us far more than the 45 quid he did the job for last time. So, how much do you want, fella?
It's 45 altogether.
Oh, right, great.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well. There's no way a second-hand shop will take all this old rubbish. And if he takes the stuff to the tip, well, he'll definitely be making a loss.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
As soon as he leaves, the team hits the laptops once again and picks up the signal made by our trackers. His first stop is at a local second-hand shop, presumably attempting to sell as much of the stuff as he can. But he clearly isn't able to sell all our items because our trackers are soon on the move again. We lose our signal for a few hours, so while we wait for it to kick in again, we retire for the day. Then all of a sudden the signal comes back and we know where our stuff is. It leads us down one of the side streets so beloved of fly tippers. And there, sure enough, a familiar sight awaits. Blocking the road are the mattress and sofa bed Simon Slade promised us he'd be selling or taking to the tip. It's definitely ours, because the UV light can't hide that green mark of shame. The kryptonite of the fly tip site. The following morning we return to the site to see the fly tip in daylight, and what becomes clear is that our mattress and sofa are lying in the gap directly between someone's house and their garage. It's hardly a good look for the neighbourhood, and it'll be up to the council and our taxes to get it cleared, all because Simon Slade was too lazy to do it himself.
So it turns out Simon Slade is a country mouse and a city mouse. He doesn't care whether he's ruining the Welsh countryside or Wales's #1 city.
It's time to catch up with the skipper of this team of tippers. Prepare to be moved. Yeah, we've had enough of Simon Slade and all his rubbish, so we're going to call him out to make one last house call. And it's an address where I happen to be a temporary resident. When I say hello, will he clean up or clear out? Find out in 10. Back to Monster Movers of Cardiff for the final time now. We've seen their boss Simon Slade take our household items and sling them across the hills, valleys and back streets of South Wales. One more thing to do then. Meet him and have a chat.
Hello. I'm Simon.
Yeah.
So remind us, what do you do with the stuff you can't sell?
If I can't get rid of seats of them, like I take it down the tip.
Well, no you don't. Just look at what he actually did with what he couldn't get rid of. He fly tipped it here, he fly tipped it there. In fact, I think he'd probably fly tip it anywhere. It's annoying, you see, because we know he's had a talking to by the council for fly tipping in the past. So I send an email around the office showing the Road Traders team photos of his terrible tips. And look at the effect it had on our researchers. Yes, and she's Welsh. Bad, Simon Slade, bad. It's high time I had a word with him, but first we want to confront him with hard evidence of his fly tips to see how he reacts. And of course the best way to do that is through modern art. Meet our very own hippy-dippy artist in residence, Sophie Lestrade. Road Traders researcher by day, but postmodern art installation creator about half an hour later. Yeah, she's really going. She's in the part now, I think. She's got it. This is The Impermanence of Beauty. Very deep. It's a treatise about the negative effect man is having on our natural environs, don't you know? In other words, it's a tenuous way for us to be able to project photographs of Simon Slade's misdemeanours onto the walls. But I'd personally like to hear from the artist herself. This is a dumpster?
A two-tone dumpster covered in £20 notes, as you can see. Yeah,
Lovely,
yeah.
OK. And then as we move across, we have the projection. We also have this green wheelie bin.
Very, very unique.
Yeah, and what goes in here?
Well, that will be you. Oh!
Yes, I will be hiding inside a wheelie bin, waiting to pop out and say hello to Mr. Slade. I hope he's not terribly long, because it's really uncomfortable, and I think it's been used. I also add some sound effects of my own.
I love and respect the Welsh countryside.
I wonder what he'll make of that when he arrives.
But there are those who seek to destroy it.
And will he recognise those photos of his handiwork? We're about to find out.
Hi, come through. This is my latest installation. I need you, it's really important. The lights, everything, I need it to be as it is. you know, because it's art.
As Sophie and her assistant Barney show off their installation, Simon Slade completely blanks his fly tipping portraits on the wall. Maybe he's not an art fan?
So, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, we can do it. It's just obviously you're going to have to show us where it goes when we get to the
Sure.
other end.
And what about the sound effects?
There are those who seek to destroy it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to be more obvious here.
Simon Slade, I'm talking about you. Simon Slade, I'm talking about you. Simon Slade, I'm talking about you.
Listen, I can't be more obvious. Right, that's it. Here goes.
Hey Simon, how you doing? Matt, all right, BBC Road Traders. It's good to see you. So, we've identified you as not a monster house clearance guy as such, but a monster fly tipper. You took 2 loads from us, from 2 separate addresses. The bits that you wanted to recycle and that you could clearly make some cash from, you took those. And the other stuff you left in 2 different locations, one in the countryside and one in the middle of Cardiff itself. It's fly tipping there.
Put a bit of rubbish out, you know, one pile or two, that's what I mean,
But why do you think that's all right?
because obviously you can't take the vans to the tip, can you? I only found out that after picking the stuff up. I thought if I took the stuff from you, took it to the tip, I'd get rid of it. But when I got there, they said you can't take vans.
Yeah, but that's not true, see, because we know where it went and we know how long it took you to chuck it in that little kind of glade, that little copse that you did off the Newport Road. And it didn't take you 20 minutes. You never made it to the tip. You never tried. See, that's the problem with this. It's just down to laziness.
Well, I've stopped doing that now, because anyone who rings me now, I do say no. Do you mean? And I'm not taking no more rubbish now, do you know what I mean? I'm just doing house moves, that's it. You know, I'm not stupid, do you know what I mean?
But, you know, we're now...
I'm a mistake, like, do you know what I mean?
You know...
Most people would be up the door, you know, I'm not.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And you're not going out the door, but the reality is you've kind of got away with it.
No, I haven't.
Up till
I'm
now.
getting in trouble for it. Like, it's only like 2 weeks ago I had a letter from the council saying I'm getting done for it.
But he's clearly...
And Simon says because of the council's warnings, he stopped fly tipping. Why, therefore, did he fly tip a sofa bed and mattress just 7 days ago? Maybe he needs the photos to jog his memory.
That's the first one he did. So there's the fridge. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I can remember.
OK, so that one with us from St Mellons, wasn't it, to start with? And then this one was in Roath. So a load of stuff, but the stuff that you didn't...
I did say the stuff I was taking I was going to take to the second-hand shop, which I did. But when I got there, they showed me that, and I didn't want to take it.
In any case, the way where it doesn't end up is in the countryside. You know, and we are not talking about a long time ago. We're talking about a couple of weeks ago. And I appreciate you standing here and talking about it, but it doesn't change the fact that until somebody comes to your door and points out the fact that it's wrong and it makes people's lives a misery and it costs a lot of money to clear up.
If they let me in the vans, do you know what I mean? I would have went straight to the skip, like, do you know what I mean? Why don't they let you in vans? It's stupid.
Well, what they do is charge you, is the reality, isn't it? But it's no more...
Take me on board, like, I've stopped altogether. I bet you can set up 1 million of these traps all for the rest of the year.
We can't afford that.
I know, but you won't catch me yet again. Like, do you know what I mean?
Listen,
I've learned my lesson. Like, I know not to do it no more. Like, do you know what I mean?
OK, appreciate that, son.
Alright.
I'm going to come out my bin now.
Yeah.
It's a bit cramped in there.
Yeah, no worries.
Nice to meet you.
Alright, so see you
Cheers,
again.
son.
Well, I hope not to see you again.
Yeah, no offence taken. We hope we don't see you again either, Simon, or any of your rubbish scattered across the Welsh countryside.
What's that going over the hill? Well, it's Simon Slade of Monster Movers of Cardiff. He held his hands up to fly tipping a fridge, a sofa and a mattress. That's still no excuse. Anyway, it's really been an experience. Yeah, it was the end of a long day. All very nice though, friendly, apologetic, yeah, until later that evening when he sent us a series of texts. For instance, this one at 11:23. You might need a warrant as you left the house unlocked. So I've moved in, get an eviction notice from the courts. Then this text at 11:24. I'm going to check the other 2 houses, and if they're open, I'm taking them too. Who's having the last laugh now? Well, we checked the houses, and they were absolutely fine. So here it is, the last laugh on the face of Simon Slade, currently squatting on our rogues gallery.
Thanks, Matt.